are you going to do about it? What
It's
would you have done? Come on.
it's a good plan. It definitely is. So, no, it's well played, and it's a nice thing about certain target lineups that don't leave you open to just getting beat by the other decks. Paladin is obviously a strong class with the Libram version. That was that Libram or Pure. I think we
That was
didn't quite
Libram.
see, enough of the deck to make a call one way or the other. But
Yeah.
the Res Priest and the Clown Druid doing work against non-warrior classes. So well played by you.
Yeah, it worked out there. Managed to get the right curve, and even though I wasn't sure, the guess the weight maybe could have been better. That last guess the weight, I was thinking about it. I wasn't sure. Is owl? It is considered its original cost, right? When you do the,
No,
does
it
anyone
comes out
know?
as a 0.
It is. It
So
counts as a 0 on guess the weight. I thought it was the original
yeah,
weight, so I guessed less. But obviously, if it was 0, I would have guessed more. I just anyway,
yeah,
that's something I should
it's
learn. I haven't played too much Clown Druid, to be honest.
yeah. I guess the way it's a weird interaction because like it works that way on the front end, but not on the back end.
Hmm.
I think one of the ways. I could be wrong. Actually, I need
Yeah,
to go back and
I'm
double check.
I'm not sure. I have to check that. That's why
Yeah,
I guessed the wrong one there, but it was fine. The important card, the clown, was gonna come to my hand the next turn. So
hmm
either way, it wasn't punished by that. But yeah, it was an interesting kind of situation. We could have had the week locked earlier. I don't know if you knew about the background of Marty's game, but he
I
accidentally
had heard
brought the
about this.
wrong class.
Oh no.
Uh, and yeah, so there was no way to win. And I think if we had the right class, based on what decks were brought, he had a good likelihood of winning there with that priest, which he didn't bring. Instead, he brought warrior. But anyway,
Yeah, hate
managed
to
to
see
get
it,
it for our
but
team despite Marty's little misstep. So hopefully my team can carry us in the next few weeks, uh, and not make those small errors. But
it's
we
good
got there this
when
time.
the team's got your back. So I'm sure he owes you a fruit basket or something to making sure that didn't matter for the team this week.
Didn't matter. It was all part of the game plan. We just wanted this salty Saturday to be, high stakes. If he
Yeah.
had won, then what were we going to do? This was just going to be for fun. So
No, we appreciate it.
Yeah, this is, I mean, as exciting a series as you could really hope for.
yeah,
No sweeps on either side of the aisle there. Obviously, you guys were slightly ahead going into this, but that was inconsequential because of the amount of points that differed between the two teams. But I just think that really goes to show that these are two of the best teams that were available in Legacy this season, and it stinks that one of them had to lose in the quarterfinals because this could have been a very entertaining finals matchup if the bracket had played out that way. But pretty cool for you guys to be the only win against them all season.
yeah, no, I'll definitely. I mean, they were a good team, well fought. We got some critical wins. I mean, Rebob getting the big first win there against Trido there. So yeah, I mean, I'll take it. Definitely a well fought week by Team Tries though. So, or Trees. Is that how you say it? I don't know.
I think
It
it's
is it is
trees.
trees,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Because the picture's
Team trees.
trees, but I always read it as tries. Anyway, did you like my band screen, by the way? I sent that to you, Donde. I thought you
I
might enjoy.
I did. I was actually looking at it when we were trying to go live,
Hmm.
and it messed up my cams real quick, so I freaked out. But yes, I did
Oh,
enjoy Ninjutsu Kevin, Kung Fu Steve, and Judo Todd
yeah.
as your deck names. That was not something that everyone else got to see but me, but I appreciated it.
Yeah, I thought maybe, since I sent it, maybe it'd be like, oh, look, this is funny, but I managed to win and bring it up in the interview, so it works out.
Yeah, I appreciate that because if I probably would not have mentioned it if you hadn't been joining us here.
I just thought it was something fun against Karatedom there. Do some other arts, martial arts plus names, first names.
You are
Worked
you
out.
are a clever guy, and I do always appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
So we are waiting for a few minutes here. I guess Desharmo's delayed a little bit. It's the 10 p.m. start. You guys finished in a bit of quick succession in those games there. So, Mayanadon, anything that you'd like to plug while you're here? Anything that's going on in you Hearthstone wise? Or you just want to talk about BlizzCon Online?
Oh wow, I already talked about BlizzCon online. I didn't see
Not with
actually
me.
anything today. Not with you. You're right. But on stream yesterday. But I didn't actually watch anything today. So if there were updates, I was busy prepping. I had my pro and my legacy match today, so I didn't have too much time.
I'm sure your teammates
Uh,
love to hear that dedication.
yeah, really, really super dedicated. I mean, I slacked off too, but what can you do? It's a combo. I was still dedicated, but I didn't have enough bandwidth to watch. So what was anything revealed today? I know we didn't get too much yesterday as far as like the core set and the new set, but
I mean, truth be told, I was away most of the day as well, so
Yeah.
I was kind
well,
of really
perfect.
hoping you would inform
Does
me.
anyone
Yeah,
does
yeah.
anyone know?
No, I caught a little bit of the Q&A. It was, I mean, they kept it pretty generic. Talking about a potential all Murloc expansion was one of the questions, and the philosophies of the core set and what mercenaries is going to be like. They didn't give a whole lot of detailed info today. The one thing that came out, I think, off of Twitter was someone mentioning that 2 cards potentially cut from the core set, Savage Roar and Bloodlust.
Oh.
Cards that have been kind of staple finishers for a long time that we might not be seeing in the future core set.
Interesting.
So just a little insight into maybe what Team 5 is thinking, getting rid of cards that kind of have been a staple for a long time and looking for new ways for Druid and Shaman, respectively, to come out on top. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But other than that, not too much new information today.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us quite a bit of information yesterday, so I suppose to ask for more would be greedy. But,
I always want more.
Of course. But I'm personally excited for well, not only a new Druid hero, but a Tauren hero. Tauren's one of my favorite races, so I'm excited to be finally able to play as a Tauren.
Yeah, me too. Have you started playing as a Tauren? I mean, you can order now. Have you started already playing your Druid on ladder?
Why would I do that when I could possibly win a giveaway on Twitter?
You're absolutely right.
What
was I
always the
thinking?
optimist,
That's fair,
And also, I will be muting you on Twitter now.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Oh, I have any giveaway, anything muted. It still does. Things still get through somehow. I don't know, but it's fine. I don't get
20.
a million. So
any giveaway that's like, please tag somebody else. I'm tagging you. I hope you know that
please
right now.
don't. Please don't. Oh man.
Nothing personnel, kid.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for what's to come. I wish we had a little bit more clarity on some of the new cards we're getting in the core set as well, because that's like going to be interesting. I guess we have the new dragons, were a nice reveal.
Oh yeah, I did like that. The little reimagining of the existing dragons. That's always cool to see a little bit of change. And I don't know if you happen to see the Ysera cards. They were revealed, like the mana costs and everything and how they work are slightly different on some of them than they've been in the past.
Say again. Sorry.
The new Ysera cards, the Dream cards.
Oh yeah. So yesterday I thought for some reason that they were the same. I guess because they never said anything. When we were on stream, we thought they were
They're the same. They've
same.
been tweaked slightly. So, for example, I mentioned Dream can't hit your own minions, so you can't do an Infant Ysera chain.
Smart.
The 7/6 is the only one that stayed the same. It's still 4 mana 7/6. The 3/5 now costs 2 mana. Ysera Awakens now costs 3 mana and does not hit face. And the Nightmare is only 4/4 instead of 5/5. So.
Okay, so it's not as strong, but I think that's still pretty good. Those cards are solid.
Somewhat of note too, you can play all of them in the same turn if you want to. It equals out to exactly 10 mana. So you can just dump everything if you really do want to. But I just thought that was a neat little bit of a tweak there to Ysera, which has historically been one of my favorite cards, both in its Unleashed and original form.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with Alex and Stormwind, because you would expect those to also change in some capacity. So
yeah. Or maybe they're not going to be in standard. We don't. They might not be in the core set. Who knows?
True. Yeah.
Or maybe they're open. Maybe we get a new one. Who knows? What's in the new expansion? Obviously, it's Barons themed, so maybe those. I don't know too much World of Warcraft lore, but I feel like dragons don't really live in the Barrens, so maybe that's not
as much. No.
Maybe not in the original Barrens anyway. Before the world got cataclysmed in a later expansion, but it's like a low level area. The first real open area for the Horde side of things. So like you know if you're like 12, 13, 14, you're gonna be there for like 6, 7, 8 levels typically. So it's pretty early in your journey.
Maybe a new Paimane, some Raptors, some Kodos.
Yes.
More trolls,
interesting,
hyenas, things like that. A lot of beasts and stuff like that.
I figured it was going to be a lot of beasts. I mean, the video is pretty sweet. The intro video, and
Pro
Definitely had
Wars.
some like Lion King vibes, or
Mhm.
the Sahara or the
Yep.
savannas. I mean,
The Man Crick is a shout out to everyone who would
Love it.
ever spend any time in Baron's chat.
Where
Because
is Man Crick's wife?
where's Man Crick's wife? Every day, every hour, every minute, someone's asking that
oh,
question. That's pretty classic. So glad to see them incorporate that into our stone. Nice nod.
Definitely. Well, Mayanadon, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for offering up your match on stream as well. Always appreciated, and love chatting
yeah,
with
my
you.
pleasure.
And
As long as it works out for me, So.
oh, of course, yeah. Congratulations on living to play another week in Legacy.
Yeah.
Have you personally ever won a Legacy championship?
Of course I have. What do you mean?
That's right. You're a Dad Legend guy, right?
Yeah, Dad Legend. We won it last season. This season, unfortunately, they're going to come in second, I guess, because we'll see them in the finals. But
I was going
what
to
can you
say
do?
that's a perfect segue because our next match is Dad Legend. So
Yeah,
thank
good luck.
you for
Good luck,
playing us into that.
DeSharmo, right? That's the
Yep,
match.
it
We're
is.
playing tonight against Button on stream
Button's
and
great. Yep.
Yelled at playing against Jimbo
Jimbo.
off stream at the same time. So
Ooh, all right. I'll be
we will
tuning in.
know the results of that series by the time this night ends.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'll see you guys on the stream then.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
Thanks for being here. Have a great night, sir.
Later.
All right, and while we're waiting for the players to get fully ready here, I'm going to transition over so we can at least see what we're working with tonight. It's Automated Button versus DeSharmo, as we just talked about. Automated Button representing the Foolish Madmen, DeSharmo representing Dad Legend. So we've got interesting class setup here. What we did not see in the previous series, 2 Demon Hunters, one on each side. A Druid, a Mage, and a Rogue rounds out Button's lineup, and a Paladin, a Rogue, and a Warrior rounds out DeSharmo. So more traditional classes on DeSharmo's side. However, Mage has seen a surge in popularity, both in the tempo version, and I've even seen quite a bit of the Highlander or even a no minion list being pretty commonplace on ladder in the last few days. So, Icicles, why don't you take us through here what you think we might see tonight in our second match?
Yeah, as a honorary Legacy Dad Legend member, I know mostly of what DeSharmo's doing. I know his band and everything. So from Button's side, playing the Demon Hunter, Druid, Mage, and Rogue, it wouldn't shock me to see Warrior bands. It seems like the most obvious ban here. All those classes in one way or another can struggle against a Warrior. So I would expect Button to ban DeSharmo's Warrior here. As far as the Mage goes, yeah, you mentioned a couple decks. The one that I think that has been picking up a lot of steam is the Spell Damage Mage. And different variations of that, particularly with Elemental Allies, Prison Phoenix, and just setting up some really big burst turns. And the other option could be Nozaki Mage. Could see some fireworks here because it does potentially line up pretty well into the Demon Hunter, Paladin, and Rogue. So a lot of options there for Button on the Mage. The Druid might be a little bit of a tough one here. He might need to go with a really aggressive token Druid with like Gibber Wings and things like that in order to get under the Rogue Demon Hunter potentially. And then for his Demon Hunter, I mean, OTK is probably the pick here, but you can make a case for Soul as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Button brings to the table. But it could be some really interesting decks. Definitely a little different than what we saw Mayanadon and Karatedom play. So should get some nice variety going here.
Well, while you were explaining there, we did happen to get the bands in, which I've now put up on the screen for your own information. It is a Warrior band. DeSharmo's Warrior, that is banned, and Button's Rogue is banned. So this is, not too far off from what you're thinking. All right.
Having done some of the prep with DeSharmo, kind of trying to game out what potentially Button could be doing and what would be good for him. Just kind of leveraging that straight into the analysis here tonight. So pulling double duty on that.
All right. Well, I'm letting the players know they're good to go, good to queue. And we will see them in game here shortly. We'll have Button on the bottom of your screen and DeSharmo on the top. So thanks to everybody for sticking with us. I know that interview was a little bit long. DeCharmo had some fatherly duties to handle, and he was delayed a little bit because of that. So thanks for sticking through the interview. I know, you might be tired of Mayanadon, but he's a nice guy, and I do like talking to him. So glad that we had the opportunity to pick his brain on the new expansion a little bit and all the information that's coming out. I'm kidding. No one gets tired of Mayanadon.
I was gonna say, if you're needing to fill time with interviews, who better than an actual content creator?
I know. Mayanadon
to
is one of my
jump in.
favorite people for sure.
Yeah, certainly a good person to bring in as a third wheel for just filling time. So
yeah, I mean, if you just want to hang out and cast a little bit too, I'd be fine with that as well.
Sure. Yeah.
That's totally fine too. I know he doesn't cast as much THL anymore as he used to, but he's big time now. He's moved into to a couple more paid gigs, and that's really the dream, right?
Yep. So that's what we're all here for, is to move up into the next level. This is the training ground for all of us. Just kidding.
Some of us are lifers, man. We're just lifers here. It's all good.
Okay, let's see. I'm clicking buttons to spectate. I see eyeballs.
Same for me here. I'm trying to get us in as quick as possible.
And
there we are.
Now, last time, I'll wait for the game to load before clicking spectate on at number 2. All right. So we've got Paladin for DeCharmo and Druid for Button. We see bees and adorable infestation, so it does look like this is going to be a pretty fast token druid from Button side. And so far, Libra and Paladin on DeCharmo's side, from what I can tell. Hey, there's Savage Roar, Chain Force. Not exactly the best hand for Button off the start, but at least gets to get on the board on the first turn.
Some friendly emotes.
Yeah, DeCharmo has the start we saw from Mayanadon as well, with Aldor into Hand of Adult.
And he will go ahead and rip the first day of school just to see what's out there. Goldshire Footman and Hungry Crab. Hungry Crab not going to be useful in this matchup, unfortunately.
You never know. But probably not.
I was going to say, I don't know what Murloc gets run ever in any of these Druid lists, but yeah, I suppose it's always possible.
DeCharmo could be running Crab Rider and could eat his own crab after it's killed a couple trees. You never know.
Very true.
So we'll see how Button approaches this. Easy clear on the 1/2. Probably follow up with draw authorizing wins, I would think. Or he could opt to just try to develop on the board with the adorable infestation. So that's not a bad choice here. Try to go wide on the Paladin. Knowing the Libra and Paladins typically don't run Consecration, so it's not a bad strategy to establish an early presence. See a Glowfly pickup, so now I do kind of expect Button to play the Rising Winds for draw, just straight into the 3/2.
Yeah, make that Glowfly a little bit more potent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a passive turn. Not exactly how you want to be playing this game, but sometimes you just have to make the most of the situation that you have, so we'll see.
Arbor Up is a nice card to have, as you can now buff that Glowfly Swarm, but if he uses that Lightning Bloom, he'll be a mana off of it, so you can't do it on back-to-back turns.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely the opportunity for Druids. In turns like 2, 3, 4, before Paladin has some of their bigger plays to go with. So he'll be able to play Glowfly relatively uncontested next turn.
Right.
And then DeCharmo will be able to follow up with the Truth Seeker. But having the Libra and Pope party in hand for DeCharmo is pretty important because that is a massive brick wall in the face of a Druid opponent. So interesting to see how this ends up playing out.
Not only that, but Libra Judgment was a drawn card as well, so a little bit of extra healing even earlier. And seeing that automatic Button played the second Rising Winds, which makes sense to add an extra spell into the hand for a Glowfly Swarm, that should have signaled DeCharmo to that being the play that was coming here. But that being said, there isn't really a whole lot in hand outside of a taunt that DeCharmo will be able to play here.
Now, it's interesting that DeCharmo played the Libra of Wisdom on the 2/2 instead of the 1/2. So he could have opted to play it on the 1/2 and gone face, but then he would have had a 2/3 on the board. Now, because he played it on the 1/1, he gave up 1 damage face, but now he can replay the Libram this turn and kill 2 treants because of it. So pretty good foresight by Ducharme there to be able to kill 2 Treants instead of 1.
Yeah, there's a reason he always beats me in our THL matches, I guess. So automatic button now. Deciding here, I think you could probably play some, maybe like a Gibberling. No, you probably don't want to bother with the Gibberling and Arbor up. You probably just want to Arbor up.
Just Arbor up here, yeah.
Yeah. Let's say it's just gonna clog the board at this point.
The question he might be debating is whether to also rip the Savage Roar. Because if he does that, he has to push 18 damage base. No, maybe more than that, maybe 20. Which feels pretty good. It's going to feel really bad when Ducharme plays Libram Pope next turn, but it is an option because you don't always have the board like this as the Druid. So wouldn't be surprised to see him just go ahead and rip this here and push as much damage as possible.
It looks like that's the game plan.
Almost certainly. Well, I guess he's going to trade into the grab. So take off 1 minion and see if this board is enough. Basically, it puts Ducharme on having Libram of Hope or not. We do see that he does, so but this still is a lot of pressure even with Libram of Hope up. So and those devout pupils are going to be 1 buff short of being free. So we won't see them this turn, but getting pretty close to being able to play them right behind the Libram. So I think Ducharme may be considering playing both devout pupils instead of the Libram. I kind of want to play the Libram because it heals. It also corrupts the weapon. Because next turn you're going to be able to follow up with the weapon and both of the pupils. But he's opting for the pupils here first. So I'm wondering where is extra. So I guess he just folds a mana here. So this might be good enough. Button doesn't have another way to buff. The Lunar Eclipse is a nice pickup. Being able to take off some damage.
Yeah, could see him lead with a Lunar Eclipse and then a Rising Winds to see what is drawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't have another spell in hand that you want to play. You can even opt to, I guess you could say the Innervate after the Rising Winds. So then opting to play some Dribblings out. May have wanted to play the Dribbling first there, but I don't know that it's going to make too much of a difference.
If he uses the Rising Winds for a 3/2 instead, then it's which is what his plan is. It looks like it's the same. So
yeah, sacrificing a decent amount of presence here to build up the Dribbling at least follow up, but Ducharme now with the Libram Pope. He's going to opt to play the True Seeker. And the Libram of Justice.
Very, very, very greedy if he does that.
Yeah, I think it's okay because you can play the weapon behind it and get the lifesteal going. It is a little risky, but it might be okay. I mean,
he knows 1 card in hand is a Rising Winds, the second half of a Rising Winds, so he knows that you're down to 2 possible buff cards.
Right. Yeah, so we'll go up to 9 with 5 on the board. So, yeah, not dead to Savage, but not too far off either. And living this Dribbling up is going to keep a lot of pressure on it. There wasn't really much he could have done about the Dribbling. There was a case to make to actually kill the Dribbling instead of the 4/3. Heal a little bit more, leave a bigger minion on the board, but we'll see how it ends up affecting this game. Basically a force of nature from that Bullfly Swarm.
And nature studies could be anything. But nothing that will immediately threaten Ducharme.
Probably. Kind of tough because Moontouched Amulet represented immediate damage. Not this turn, or not immediate damage, but over time. And Breath of Dreams gives them more chance for future resources. So I think that makes sense, but we might be seeing this game starting to turn. Ducharme is getting rewarded for his greedy play, being able to essentially heal up the 5/6, but I think the heal should go face here. I'm not sure. Sucks his call. I mean, you're forcing them to deal with the 5/7 on top of the 8/8 as well. So
and if he couldn't get through the 5/7 last turn, odds are they're probably not going to be able to do it this turn.
Yeah, I like the trade as well. Druid only wins with buffing their minions, so the fewer minions they have, the worse off they're going to be.
Blessing the Ancients, a nice card for this deck, but not in the situation that Button is in at the moment.
What shall we hunt?
Breath of Dreams, the draw, second Dreamway Guardians, and we're gonna see a buff on the board. It's not a terrible spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Deshaun out of resources. Fortunately, the one resource he has is a really good one in Bear Off, so
Right.
he's a broom away from a really good time. But it still feels like he's in a great spot. There's the broom, so there's both brooms. So Desharmo,
Why not?
certainly feels like he's got this game pretty well in hand at this point. Should Button ever get to a point where he's threatening a board again, then Bear Off Broom comes down. But more likely than not, this game is just going to wrap up here in a turn or two, if not this turn. Yeah, with nothing left on the Druid's board, Paladin threatening this much damage over time. He's not dead yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Button concede at this point.
Yeah, Tree Enforcement's not a powerful draw at this stage, and there is the concede, as you mentioned. And we will move on to game 2 with Desharmo getting a win here with the Paladin.
Yeah, I think the Paladin was always going to be favored here into what Button brought. It's very good into Demon Hunters. It's pretty good against Mage now, the Mage decks that are being played. Wasaki Mage can sometimes just blow you out, and if Button brought Highlander Mage, then that could have been an issue, but based on the other classes that Desharmo brought, Highlander might not have been the choice for Button's Mage. But so I think Desharmo's Paladin was very favored to get through. So we'll see now how these things go. Button going right back to the Druid, and Desharmo playing on the Rogue.
I make my own.
I must protect the wild.
We see in Button's hand.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup here. This one, I feel like, in general, this is a matchup that is going to be over by turn 5, one way or the other. One player is going to roll. Oh, actually, no, wait. It's not a stealth rogue. It's I saw Swindle real quick, and for some reason thought stealth rogue. It's a World Kick rogue.
Now you are correct though. This game could be over in 5 turns, especially with what we're seeing on Button's side.
Whew, yeah, that's
the Gibberling and Arbor up with a coin and Innervate and a Lightning Bloom.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I think you wait 1 turn and then you just go nuts with this.
Agreed.
Because that is so difficult for a rogue to deal with. So
yeah, in what card in Desharmo's deck handles that board?
Nah, nothing. So I mean, he has close to it with a Brain Freeze. Getting a shot block the cat is nice, but and getting the Power of the Wild behind it too. Not that you'd be able to play it next turn, but still, this is gonna be a pretty nutty start for the Druid here. And I think you just
doing the math there, making sure you have the right of it.
Yeah, I think he might have also trying to calculate the board space to make sure he didn't lose the treants behind it because they are stronger than the Gibberlings. Also keeping the Gibberling with the spell burst on the board as well. So this works out perfectly and is going to be extremely difficult for Desharmo to do anything about.
Yeah, this is pretty much the dream for this deck.
Yeah. Now he did pick up an Eviscerate, so he's able to kill 4 minions, which is not bad, honestly. Like this is as close to handling the situation as a rogue can get. The 1/2 trades into the spell burst, the shotbot trades, eviscerates a 3/2, and brain freeze a 4/3. So it's not that bad for Desharmo. It's definitely, definitely an. I mean, it's something you potentially could come back with if you opted for that. I think not doing that is pretty risky. Like I understand why you want to draw to try to get more and not playing the eviscerate. So I guess the eviscerate's the one choice that he chose not to make here. So he kills 3 minions instead of 4.
Oh, and the Savage Roar draw too. I know you can't play it this turn, but that's just representing even more potential damage.
Mm-hmm. Questing's a nice pickup generally. Not quite what you want here. So now you're kind of in the same position last turn, except you have 1 more minion on the board than you otherwise would have. I guess you can eviscerate now, and it kind of is the same difference. So maybe you hero power into the 3/1 and eviscerate the 4/1. That's probably reasonable. Is he going to hero power into the 4-1? Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking you'd eviscerate the 4-1 and then hero power the 3-1, but that does take more damage overall off the, or more health off the board.
Mm-hmm. So Button here can follow up with the Dream Way into Power of the Wild and continue putting out this pressure. And I think, at this point, Rogue has a lot of removal and a lot of tools for dealing with boards like these, Prize Plunder and Brain Freeze like we saw. But at some point, you just get beat down. And there's
the Prize Plunderer, yeah.
So probably Cat Swindle, see what you get, maybe a Backstab. But I think there's still going to be enough damage left on the board for Savage Roar to represent lethal next turn.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
Yeah, almost definitely.
Yeah, the Plunderer will take out a 4-2, or the 4-2.
4-3 as well. I think there should be.
Well, yeah, now with the Foxy Fraud draw, the 4-3 instead. So that's still 2-4-8 just on board. 12, 14, 16, 18. Yeah, it's up to 19. Yeah, this is a lot of damage.
Yep. So any Button comes back, takes game 2. Quick updates in the other game. Jimbo takes game 1 over Yellow Dart. Also with, I guess I probably shouldn't say, if they're not on stream, I shouldn't say what the decks are. But we will update that Jimbo did win 1-0 over Yellow Dart. So that series is moving on to game 2. And the series is moving on to game 3. Tied 1-1.
And that's a Druid win for Button. So now we're looking at 2 Demon Hunters left, and then the Rogue we just saw, the World Kick Rogue, and a Mage of an unknown type for Button.
So I think if Button brought the OTK Demon Hunter, he likely cues that next, because that was a good matchup against the Rogue, and is maybe unfavored slightly against the Soul Demon Hunter. Would be a mirror against an OTK Demon Hunter. So Demon Hunter seems like a pretty safe bet. Could also go for the Mage, I guess, but I think Demon Hunter makes sense here.
Well, that's what we're going to see.
Yeah. So we're seeing a Kain.
An aggressive type of Demon Hunter. I mean, Relentless Pursuit doesn't reside in the Soul, or I'm sorry, no, it does reside in the Soul Demon Hunter, but Kain does not.
Yeah, Kain's been falling out of favor because not as many decks are playing taunts that you have to deal with, other than Druid, and Desharma did not have the Druid in his class selection. So
this might just be an all-out aggro.
That looks like a Soul.
No, it is a Soul. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think Kain fits in the Soul generally. The Kain is an interesting inclusion, maybe thinking that you needed it against Paladin. And maybe against Rogue, if Rogue is able to find, Titanic Lackey off of Miscreant, or taunts off the Pharaoh Cat.
Winged Guardian off of the Pharaoh Cat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And instead of the Pharaoh Cat, goes even heavier and gives a Colossus of the Moon to Desharma, which is, it feels like you're like, oh, that's a big minion, yay. But at the same time, I don't know any Rogue that ever really plays the Colossus of the Moon in any matchup.
Yeah, it's unlikely that it's going to come into play here. It's basically a dead draw off the Soul Demon Hunter. This game will have really gone off the rails if it comes into play here. Just because the Rogue can't heal and Demon Hunter puts out so much damage, it ends up sort of being a race. It doesn't often come down to resource generation. It can sometimes if the Demon Hunter's deck is arranged a certain way to where they're just playing catch up the whole time. But more likely than not, this game will be decided relatively quickly.
And the Shadow Step, I like that, is a prep for the Edwin that was drawn off the Swindle.
Unfortunately, as we see on Button's side, he picks up the answer to it, but he doesn't even know that he's going to be asked that question yet. But what Desharma was setting up for is sadly going to be answered by Button pretty quickly.
And another backstab, could use it if you really just want to go all in, but I see this as likely probably a 1 backstab. It's going to end up being, what, like a 12-12 Edwin, if my math is correct?
I mean, you would know about the 12-12 Edwins, so...
Oh boy, you had to go there, didn't you?
Sorry, I should be laughing. It's not a joking matter.
Oh, it's absolutely a joking matter. I don't know what you're talking about.
So I'm interested to see if he backstabs his own 3. So I don't think you do. I think you just take 2 less attacking mouse on the Edwin.
Yeah, I would agree.
They didn't know that.
I mean, if the Edwin is good enough at 10-10 or 12-12, it's probably good enough at 10-10 as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're going to see that Consume Magic, just to lead off with, might as well. We're going to toss that down to start with.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that is, like, as much as that sucks for Desharmo, it does at least slow Button's development down a little bit, because playing a Soul Shear behind the Consume Magic is not super great. He's able to clear out this board, but not develop the weapon, so he won't be able to play Lapidary next turn. I mean, I guess he could play Lapidary next turn if he feels like it to get out the mana, but it's not the worst outcome. However, what we see in Sharma's hand right now is a pretty bad outcome, because he just has nothing to do on this turn, which is pretty sad. So what I just said about the not playing the Lapidary, I think actually I would play the Lapidary now, just to have the 5/5 on the board. When a rogue lists like that, it's the signal for the Demon Hunter just to go. And playing a 5/5 is a pretty nice way to push the gas on this matchup.
It also corrupts that Lucky Soul Hoarder. Now it is going to draw, in addition to shuffling the 2 soul fragments into the deck.
And so Sharma looking for some salvation off of this Wand Thief here.
Well, I tell you what.
Yeah.
The puzzle box is very, very intriguing.
I mean, I don't think he lives long enough to get to turn 8 to prep puzzle box. I think he has to take a rolling fireball to get there. I mean, I agree. The puzzle box is fun and potentially something that could be pretty great here, but I think rolling fireball is something you just have to do now just to stop the damage coming from the Demon Hunter.
It's entirely less fun, however.
I agree. So another update, the Yellow Dart Jumbo series is also tied 1-1. So Yellow Dart takes game 2 and is in the same position here as this series. So
we Yellow Dart and I had talked previously to featuring this match instead, as Yellow Dart thought we might have had Yellow Dart fatigue on stream. So if this does end and we need to jump on over to that one, we very well could do that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. So right now it looks like Button's in a pretty good position here. Interesting, he opts to Hero Power over playing the other Soul Shear to get rid of this 1/2. I guess you're not that concerned about a 1/2, but the only thing is a Shadow Step potential with like a questing or something, but doesn't have to worry about it. Not the best pickups off Jandis.
No, but Jandis herself was a good draw for Desharmo in that spot.
Yeah, certainly something you wanted to do, and that's a really good draw.
Oh man, great counter.
Here. So yeah, Mystic followed by the Lucky Soul just puts even more pressure on the board, and Button will probably just keep going face. I don't think you're too worried about a 3-2 in this position when the rogue is sitting at 17 life. And especially when you have the Twin Slice in hand. Also not swing at all. Interesting, okay. So
might opt to hold it just in case of like a Bladed Lady.
Right. That, and plus he's holding a Blade Dance in hand.
Right.
He's always going to be able to do that damage, so Desharmo just struggling to stay alive at this point, so I don't necessarily mind that whole weapon swing, but yeah, so we'll see here the draw and potentially push a lot of damage and set up lethal for next turn.
Second Shard Shatter Mystic to the draw, not useful here, and yeah, I don't know if you're Button, are you worried at all about Flick being I mean, we've already seen one Shadow Step, and I don't think utilizing a Shadow Step on Flick is really something you're too concerned with, because this Demon Hunter doesn't really care too much about sticking board. Most of your damage comes from your face directly to theirs.
Yeah, the Flick isn't as threatening in this matchup as it is for the OTK Demon Hunter. In that case, you have to be extremely worried about Molarks getting flicked. But
yeah,
interesting, he just floats all the mana, not using the Relentless Pursuit or anything else to push a little extra damage now.
I guess maybe trying to obfuscate a little bit, just not give away your entire game plan as far as what you have in hand right now.
Sure. On the flip side, what is Rogue going to do about it? Can't freeze your face. They don't have...
Not with that attitude, but Wand Thief.
They don't have... Yeah, it's true. I shouldn't say they can't freeze your face, because there's a lot of ways for Mage to do that. But yeah, there's limited options for Rogue to deal with that game plan. So it probably won't hurt him in the long run, because he still has most of what he needs here to close out this game. But holding back damage, it's always a risk. So Twin Slice is still lethal off the top, assuming there's no taunt. So
Interesting to play the second Secret Passage. There's only 1 mana left.
Yeah, really digging. I'm not sure what he's digging for. Maybe a prep swindle or something. Yeah, I played both swindles, so yeah, I'm not sure what the thought process there. Just to get out of his...
maybe looking for Shadow Step to Shadow Step the thief. But
tough to say.
Yeah, I think I would have rather just use the Eviscerate there and make use of your mana. But might not be too relevant depending on the draw here for Button.
So last turn, if Button had played Relentless Pursuit or Twin Slice, he would have had lethal this turn. But now he doesn't have the mana to play it. Again, it's probably not going to matter. And he's going to be able to push the damage and clear the board now. He's counting it up, but I mean, you really should be pushing damage here and just making sure that this game doesn't drag on, because you never know what shenanigans the Rogue's going to pull out. So even the card shenanigans, it's possible. So we'll just see how this goes. But he's just holding back damage. I mean, he's just saving it all up for one last lethal push. But even next turn, he doesn't have enough mana to play it all. Yeah, it's just a very patient approach from a Demon Hunter that you don't often see. So I don't think it's likely he's going to get punished for it, but it is a little more patient than a Demon Hunter is typically thought of.
I would also like to point out that we reached the point where Desharmo could have played the box.
he could have, yeah.
Wand Maker representing potential overkill damage, but not something we're going to see here, as Kane plus Relentless Pursuit plus Twin Slice plus Second Slice plus Hero Power is more than enough.
Yep. So patient approach, good enough. And Button takes game 3, goes up 2-1 with only the mage remaining. Also an update from Yellow Darts and Jimbo. Jimbo takes game 3, and he is up 2-1 on Yellow Darts. So Dad Legend on the ropes in both series, needing to claw back from 2-1 deficits. The defending champ could be going home tonight, or staying home, as it were.
Yeah, please don't be going out to lots of places. It is a pandemic out there.
So Foolish Madmen, their dominant season, they are 1 game away in either series from moving on to the finals, or semifinals, excuse me.
You asked for it.
So Desharmo bringing back the Soul Demon Hunter, so we get to see that again. And it looks like Button is playing the Spell Damage Mage with Mana Reservoirs, so we will be seeing a pretty heavy elemental version here, along with probably Convection Cyclone and the Spell Wings, obviously the Imprisoned Phoenix. So he'll be looking probably to throw this entire hand back and look for some draw, unless I missed his initial mulligan. Okay, there it is. So there's the entire mulligan. And that is a much better starting hand with the Primordial Studies Parent Session, the elemental. So the choice here is whether or not to play the Spellwing. Sometimes you want to save it for when you get the elemental allies, but on the other hand, it's nice to just play it out, especially if you don't know what the other deck is. So playing it here makes sense. So this is another matchup where, again, the mage doesn't have healing. It does have the ability to freeze the Demon Hunter's face and stop the damage that way. But otherwise, the Demon Hunter can often just put out a continuous stream of pressure that the mage has a hard time dealing with. So it'll be interesting to see how this ends up playing out. And Primordial Studies gives a couple decent options. I like Bloodmage Thalnos here, just to get that draw
Yeah,
going.
I would agree. Thalnos seems like the best pick. I mean, Mana Reservoir, another card that's in your deck already. Usually when you see Discover cards give you an option that is in your deck, that tends to be one you like to pick, just because it's more of what you've already chosen. But yeah, Thalnos here, I think, is fine.
What to do?
The Reservoir at least is annoying to deal with, because on the one hand, the Demon Hunter, I mean, it doesn't really want to put 6 damage into a 0/6. But if it doesn't, then that Spell Damage is sitting there forever, and it really starts to add up, both in terms of damage and card draw. So that being said, I do like the Thanos here.
I think if it were later in the game and you already had accumulated the resources that you had been looking for, then you might just go Mana Reservoir because of that annoying factor. But where you're still looking to kind of draw through your deck at this point, I think Thalnos is a better choice. And I like the hold back to use it plus the cram session here.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're really desperate for an elemental allies at this point. You're holding the Convection Cyclone, so you have the ability to draw. You're just missing the card that lets you draw. So really needs to find that quickly, or it's going to be falling behind in this game.
And falling behind it appears to be, as Lab Partner plus Jandis Barov on those 2 draws not helping progress the game plan.
You do have the option of playing the Lab Partner, cross-bolting the 3/4 and Arcane Missiles to hopefully clear off the 2/2. And then following that up with potentially a Raz or Jandis, depending on whether your Lab Partner lives or not. I'm not as much of a fan of playing the Cyclone here. I think I would have rather wanted to clear this board up a little tidier. I don't like leaving a Demon Hunter with damage on the board because they're going to generate a ton of damage anyway. So the fact that you're giving them extra chip damage off these minions, especially one that gets traded off so easily by the 2/2, it just pushes you further behind and makes it tougher for you to kind of get to your own game plan of eventually burning them out. Yeah, Jandis is definitely a good play here, all things considered. Not the best options once again, but not terrible either. So we'll have to see how Sharma opts to respond to this.
And looking into Sharma's hand, he too has accumulated quite a few resources. He's got that skull. Kind of stranded a little bit, between the Shard Shatter Mystic and the Eldrazi Warblades, which he would need to play over the next 2 turns, at least one of those each turn, in order to even have a shot at playing that skull on turn 7. And yeah, he's gonna start progressing that way. He finds out which one is the illusion, and it allows for a nice clean board clear with that Shard Shatter Mystic. Very well played by Desharma.
Yeah, I think there's the potential option for Button to have flipped it and put it on the 3/5, but more likely than not, that wouldn't have paid off. You were just sacrificing a 5 attack minion. So for Desharma, it was pretty safe to guess that was the approach. In worst case, you're left with a 3 attack minion on the board anyway. So
What to do?
now we see a lot of cards in Button's hand, but not really what he wants right now. I think Raz is the easy choice here, but we'll see it cleaned up most likely by Desharma playing Eldrazi into Relentless Pursuit. And that frees up the skull for next turn. So I guess he could opt to save the Relentless Pursuit, but I think he just fits the mana nicely here. Does exactly the attack you want. So.
And much like the, you don't want to leave the Demon Hunter extra minions up to do that chip damage. You don't want to leave that Ras up to keep chipping you down and make the ultimate finishing move for this mage even easier as well. So, yeah, the right move to get rid of that for sure.
A good pickup from Button here with the Violet Warden. Messes up what would be a really nice Militia next turn for Desharma. And now it is absolutely not a nice play. So.
Picks up the second skull and might just go ahead and rip that one now that's in the front of your hand. Yeah, absolutely. There it goes. Marrow Slicer, and there's a Bladed Lady. Okay.
So
can get that down.
Yeah, but you can't play it because you only have the 1 mana.
Oh, right, it is a 1 mana, not a free card.
The only way, even then, you couldn't do it because Marrow Slicer still costs 1. So yeah, you can't play the
Oh, no, I was thinking you use the Chaos Strike plus the Twin Slice.
Right.
Gets you to 6.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, either way, you have to spend the mana to do it. So.
Working it into Bladed Lady range there.
Yeah, so now Button's kind of weathered the early storm a little bit, and he's starting to pick up some momentum.
Oh, Mana Biscuit.
Yeah, 3 spell damage on the board. You could see a ton of damage being thrown here. He's sitting on 2 missiles as well as a fireball. So, and a crossbow.
Wait, this is just 21 damage. Yeah, this 21 plus 5 on board. This is very close to dead for Desharma. If he can't heal that fireball coming behind it will finish the job.
This is he was able to just kind of put it together. That's what this mage deck does sometimes. If you're not able to answer all the spell damage, it's a decent pickup, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, that immolation aura. Yeah, there's no heal here. There's nothing.
Once he draws all the fragments. No, he's going with the militia, so that's it. So the fireball is going to finish this game, finish this series for Button. And regardless of the results from the Yellow Dark Jimbo game, that's going to be it for Foolish Madman taking the series over Dad Legend.
You possess true power.
So impressive play there for Button. He dropped that first game in the series to the Paladin, and then won the next 3 here to close this series out. So yes, a congratulations there to Foolish Madmen, one of the better teams in Legacy this series, this season, I should say. Still undefeated, I believe, as well.
Yeah, they went 8-0 in the regular season. And,
yeah, they
or 7-0, excuse me, now 8-0
yes.
with this win.
Yeah, so
and they'll move on to face Always Top Deck Lethal in the semifinals.
Yeah, a team that dismantled their opponent 18-9 in Meme Dream Team, with Interval getting the only win there for Meme Dream Team. Another very, very strong team this season. So yeah, this is a pretty loaded field. Let's see if we can get Button in here for an interview. We can talk to him about how the Madmen feel going into this next round of the playoffs.
And we'll note that 3 of our 4 semifinalists are from the Gold Conference. So Gold making an extremely strong showing this time around. Red is completely eliminated, and 1 team left from Silver and the Flame Pimps. So hats off to all the teams in the Gold Conference for slugging it out all season and making it to the semis.
All right, he'll be popping in here shortly.
Hey.
Hey, Button, how's it going?
It's going great.
I mean, can't complain after a series clinching win like that. Very impressive play. Not only this series, but all season for you. You've had a great season, so congratulations on that.
Oh yeah, thank you. I've had more than my fair share of luck.
That's we know it's always better to be lucky than good in Hearthstone, especially where luck definitely plays a factor. But Foolish Madmen advance, that's important.
Yes, we do.
Looking forward to one more week from you guys.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I feel a little bit bad about that game too. That was just a nasty draw.
The Gibberling turn, yeah. Like know, we were talking about that, holding it back that turn, and just ripping out the arbor up, and you nailed it.
It's not my style, really. I mean, it's not too often you get a hand return to you can just make that many stats. So when it comes around, you just gotta rip it.
That's exactly what you did too, and not surprising that the game ended up that. I mean, I guess what was surprising is that he managed to live for quite some time after that turn, which was impressive enough.
I was surprised. I was almost expecting a concede on the spot, but but yeah, no, it was just the stats he put out just lined up really well against me, and I was like so worried that he was just gonna pull a Consecrate out of there. At least was that a game against Paladin?
That was against Rogue.
That was against Rogue, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, Rogue does weird things, but that might be a little too far.
Yeah, I also felt bad with the 1 of Consume just lining up really well into his Edwin. Like, I feel a little bit bad about that. But otherwise, it was a fun series and very well played to Disharmo.
No, I think what happens in situations like that, you build your deck a certain way, expecting certain opponents, and sometimes it pays off for you. And we saw that kind of pay off 3 games in a row. So, well played and well constructed by you to get that.
Thank you.
Get those decks in the right place to take the victory. So
yeah.
So this is your first season in THL. First season, obviously playing Legacy. Most players, it takes a while for them to even get this deep in the playoffs, and here you are in season 1 as a rookie, pushing for a championship. So I guess just since this is your first season, just kind of your thought process on, how have you been approaching weeks individually as a team? What has really led to your success this season?
Well, I think a lot of it comes to the fact that the majority of the team plays together anyway. Like 4 of us are part of Northeastern's sort of club Hearthstone team. So everyone except for Diamond actually.
Classic Diamond.
Yeah. So we all know each other very well, so the deck construction just sort of happens as a group anyway. So like the same just level of construction that you would expect to see at a 1 seed is happening for all five of our decks, just working with the libraries that we have to construct the best decks that we can.
Yeah, having that knowledge of each other's preferences, play styles, etc.,
Yeah.
I think is really huge.
Oh, it's can't be overstated, I think. Just because everyone knows what everyone in the side knows what decks I have available, and we can start planning out lists of 120 for what we think we're going to see. So, and a lot of the times, like in that game against the Rogue, where we had to consume just ready for the end when it pays off massively.
Like you said, sometimes you just got to have that extra bit of luck on your side, and you definitely did there. And it's cool to see teams that have this synergy like this come into THL. It's neat that your PR worked out too, because like a lot of the time we see these teams, especially the college-based teams, have to play in the pro series in order to be able to compete. Which after the season you might have to, considering how much PR you've gained. It's probably not going to work again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it worked out very well for us because of the guys on the Northeastern team, obviously Darion and Dario Pinks and Justin Time are very big grinders, but Jimbo and I are not that big of grinders. Like these past couple seasons, I've only ended up Diamond 5, so like I only just hit Legend today, so I end up not like getting much higher than a 10-star bonus very often, which happened to slot us both just really nicely into the PR limit. Even though when we're playing, I think we play at a significantly higher level than our PR would say at the start of the season.
Yeah, I would definitely say that to be the case, considering you're now 7-1. Jimbo, we haven't had an update, but he was up 2-1 on Yellow Dart at one point. Could very well be 7-1 as well.
Hey,
yeah, no, sorry. I guess maybe we're spoiling things for you. I don't know, but
no, it's fine. I don't mind being spoiled at this point.
But that means from your 2 to 4 seeds, with Justin, of course, you've dropped 2 series all season.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's tough to beat.
Yeah, I think that it's just I think that we're significantly undervalued, at least at the start of the season at 2, 3, and 4, and so it comes into play. I think some of it is getting lucky. At least I know at least in a few of my series in the regular season, I had more than my fair share of luck. And I think Jim is an absolute steal at 4, and Justin at 2 is really not fair. So,
well said. Yep. And Desharmo, I mean, I know you haven't been around THL very long, but he's been historically one of the best players in THL. As a 3 seed, I know you're talking about PR. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but he's a guy that pushes for like crossover player of the season most seasons. So not a small feat to win the way you did. So definitely congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I wish I knew the scene a little bit better, if I'm being honest, but. I saw the PR and I'm like, oh, it's another 3 seed at like high 400s PR. Oh god, this could be tough.
Yeah, he's a consistent Legend player. Yeah, I mean that's definitely right at the top of the competition that THL has to offer. So
yeah, it actually worked out really really nicely because we're both like high 1600 Legend. I'm 1673. He was 1699 going into that. So like, only like 20 some odd Legend places between us on the ladder.
Very even matchup.
Very even match, and I just happened to get a fair bit more luck on this one. Would love to play him again.
Well, I'm sure you will if you stick around. So, Icecleese, any other questions here for Bud?
No, I think your next opponent, always Tata Glico, you played against them in the regular season. Any early impressions of that team and your next opponent?
Not particularly. I'd have to go look back on the set that I ended up playing, but I'm excited. It's an honor to go this far in the playoffs, even in my rookie season, especially with the group guys that we have.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you do from here on out. And obviously, hopefully, you do tend to stick around THL. We like to see people continue to be involved, especially players of your caliber. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us here tonight. Thanks for letting us stream your match.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Well, go celebrate with your team and, try, I try not to bag on Diamond too much. I know he tends to get pretty close to championships and not quite finish the deal, but this might be the one for him. I think this might be the one.
I think it's gonna have to be.
All right. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Have a good night.
See you. You too.
Alrighty, well that is going to do it for us tonight on a salty Saturday. Isocles, these are awesome series. I'm glad we were able to bring them to everybody tonight.
Yeah, it was a good time. One final update: Jimbo was able to close the series out against Yellow there, 3-1. So Foolish Madman takes a pretty strong showing here, continuing the regular season dominance and moving on as clearly the team to beat as we head into the semifinals. So should be a really good week next week. Hopefully we can get some of
Absolutely.
those matches showing up on Saturday again.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Hero is moving into the playoffs as well, so we might have a little bit of time for them as well next week. Always try to feature the playoff matches whenever possible, and we've got no shortage of them at this point. So for right now, Foolish Madmen, ATL, F2L, and one team to be determined, I believe, is the
Flame
only.
Fence is the last
Flame
team.
Pimps did make it. Okay, I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
So we've got Foolish Madmen versus ATL, F2L versus Flame Pimps. Exciting semifinals against four very strong teams involved.
Should be a great week.
Alrighty, well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We will be back again tomorrow, of course, with Schoolstone. I don't know if we have specific matches lined up for that yet. Did you happen to see anything?
I think we have one on the docket for tomorrow that I saw. Let's see. I know there's at least one. It's starting at 4 o'clock Eastern, and let me see if I can find the scheduling for it and tell you who's playing. Just give me 1 second as I
Sure thing.
stall by saying nothing.
Well, I can stall for you because we also have Sunday night coming
Excellent.
on Double Pro Series. It's going to be Kaitless Luna versus Edelweiss, Yashard's Clown College versus Swagoy Red, and then yours truly will be playing German Shep on at 9 o'clock. Yeah, Aeon versus For the Boys. So that's an exciting one too. I believe Aeon is now. I'll be the last game. Obviously, a Sunday night game is typically the last game. But we are also very, very close in score. I think it's within 1 or 2 points right now. I didn't do the math, but it's close.
And our update for our match at 4 o'clock Eastern tomorrow is another pro match between Obviously and Nice Jewish Owl.
There we go.
Another good one.
That's a fantastic match. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely tune into that if you are around and not tired of hearing all of our voices here in THL. But why would you be? There's a lot of great content coming at you. So definitely tune in tomorrow. We'll hope to see you there. Icecleese, thank you again for joining me tonight.
Yes, sir. Enjoy it.
And hope everybody has a great evening. See you tomorrow.
Have a good night.